you're excited about this one. It's the only one you're excited about.
I don't know.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, is it recording?
Yep.
Here we go. Hey everyone, Jay Reale here, and this is not a Real Deal Show episode, like you might think. It's not a podcast. This is a vlog, and the topic of this vlog, if you can't already tell by the garb that Vicki's wearing, is Beast Games. For those of you who are saying, what in the world is Beast Games? Tell us what Beast Games is.
It is a show on Amazon Prime where Jimmy, aka Mr. Beast, puts up $5 million to 2,000 contestants. It says 1,000, but we actually competed as 2,000 initially. It's a game show where we compete in all kinds of challenges for one sole winner of $5 million.
Who is Jimmy?
Jimmy Donaldson. I guess if you go back and look at his first few YouTubes, he was like this young guy that just gave away money to homeless people, and he kept doing YouTube videos, and now he's the biggest YouTuber in the world with, I don't even know how many millions or billions. Do you know?
350 million subscribers. He is the #1 YouTuber in the world. He started out as a gamer and posted clips on YouTube gaming, and that grew into a philanthropic endeavor where, as you said, he would do these kind of wacky stunts and then also do charity work on YouTube. You know, giving away money to people in need or building houses for people. Why did they call him Mr. Beast? Do we know that?
I forget. I believe I watched a video on it. Maybe I'll look it up and I'll put it up here. Or
Yeah, we gotta find that out. But in any case, any of your family or friends that are Gen Zers probably know who Mr. Beast are, and a lot of older people too. Sort of a mock version of Squid Game on YouTube. That was a huge hit, so he decided basically to kind of up the ante and do a game/reality show, I guess it was. And he started advertising for it probably about a year ago, maybe, or so.
It was May 2024, I think it was.
Well, yeah, so they started taking applications, and we're going to touch on how you found all that out in a little video clip, a big video clip that you created. I have a bunch of questions that inquiring minds want to know the answers to. So we will get all the details on this after the clip. Anything else you want to say to set up this set of clips that we're going to see here, your experience in Beast Games?
Yeah, so I thought I might win this. So I'm going to vlog, and it might be cool if I'm the $5 million winner to show my experience. So I videoed from the beginning to the end of my journey, which you'll see, and you'll have to see and watch till the end to see if I won.
Yeah, and you can watch that on Amazon Prime, and you can watch some of the pre-show action, because there was sort of an audition week as well, which you get into here before it went to Amazon Prime, and that stuff is all on YouTube. So go to the Mr. Beast YouTube channel and you can see the lead up to the Amazon Prime version. But for now, let's cut to Vicki's video piece and we'll see her experience on Beast Games.
Check it out. Heading into Vegas right now, and I have no idea. And just to give you a little backstory about how I got here, maybe, Kieran was like, oh, there's a Mr. Beast game show, and I'm like, oh, who's Mr. Beast? And he's like, the biggest YouTuber, check it out. So I watched a couple of his videos and I'm like, he's pretty cool. Oh, this would be rad. I wonder what I could do to try out for it. And so when you do a video on yourself, you get all nervous and you're like, I'm gonna look like a kook, and what do I do? How can I make him like me? How can I get on the show? One morning I just got up, I couldn't sleep. I was up at 4:30 because with work I had 10 things going on in my brain. I just started to do a hike, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do a video. F it. Well, I just talked about myself, which is sometimes hard, you know, and about being 50, and got a call from one of the casting directors, and they said, oh yeah, we're gonna move you on to the next round. And I'm like, sweet. And they're like, do you have a passport? How's your health? They're asking me a bunch of questions, and then, you know, be crickets for a couple of weeks, and then we want you to do a health evaluation. It kept moving through the rounds. Let contestants know at the end of June if they made it or not. I got this email and it said, congratulations, you've made the show. I was like, heck yeah. But they said you have to be able to be gone till September 30th. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm in the middle of busy season at work and bodyboarding and junior guards, and I got boogie camp. I don't know if I can pull this off. And Jay was going to the Maldives in July also. And I was like, you know what? This kind of stuff happens once in a lifetime. I gotta see if I can pull it off. When I heard the news, I went in the next day and guys, I made this game show and I reckon I should do it, but I don't want to leave you guys, you know, and they're like, you kidding me? Go do it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. So all I knew was that here's a packing list and we'll be flying you to Vegas. What seat would you like? And I was like, first class. They said, okay, here's directions. We want you to go to the Rio. We want you to drive. We'll reimburse you for everything. So actually here I am, wondering where I should go, but they did send me a map. But there's the Rio. I'm like down at this strip here. If you can see, there's Caesar's Palace, and so I'm just about to go check in and start this adventure. It's gonna be super fun, and I keep saying I'm not in it for the fame or fortune. I'm in it for the fun, but I'm gonna try. Who knows what's gonna happen? Guys, I have to pack bra and undies, 5 sets of them. There they are. Wonder what that's for. Okay, I just checked in. I had to sign my life away, go to medical, Beast Games t-shirt, and then fill out my bank account information so when I win, let the winnings begin. I'm hanging out in the casino till 2 o'clock. One thing they asked me was, am I allergic to olives? Interesting. Checked in. Got myself a room. Who knows if I'll be by myself or not. It's 3:30. Dinner's at 5. I have $25 to spend. This is a weird snack, but I'm having pot stickers and a Kit Kat. 107 temperature outside. 8 p.m. Bedtime soon. Call time 11. Feeling nervous. Got my black socks, my black pants, Beast Games shirt. Get on a bus with all our luggage. Gotta give them my phone and my bags, and who knows what's gonna happen after that. This is crazy shit. What an adventure. How fun. I'm ready to rock it. You wanna see a winner? Right here, baby. It could be fun. You never know what the outcome's gonna be, so you know, here I am not knowing. And
2,000 people are about to battle in a series of trials for a spot in my 10-episode Prime Video series called Beast Games. I need all of you to split up into 5 groups of 400. Whichever group is the last to lift that 10,000-pound boulder across that finish line is eliminated. Oh! Congratulations on passing the first challenge! Don't you just love your teams? Yellow team, don't you love each other? Green, orange, pink. Unfortunately for challenge 2, your teammates will be your opponents.
Your goal is to memorize where the safe briefcases are and claim one before someone else. Congratulations to the 350 of you that see green.
And that is the end of challenge number 2.
Let's get some rest before the next challenge. Sleep well, everyone. You're going to need your strength for this next challenge. 2 more challenges in this audition for my new Prime Video show, Beast Games.
There's 1,400 of you and 1,100 flags.
You have to capture a flag or you are eliminated.
You get a flag or you go home. No $5 million.
Congratulations to the 1,100 of you who are moving on to our final challenge.
The 1,000 of you that pass this final challenge will move on to compete in our 10-episode
Prime Video series.
Starting now. If you step off your platform, you will be eliminated, and so will your entire platform.
That final game was brutal, but it's nothing compared to what these 1,000 remaining contestants are about to face. They have now earned their spot in the biggest competition series of all time, and one of them will walk away with $5 million in cash, but before they do, they will have to compete in Beast Games.
Okay. So like the US, basically they create this dystopian world.
Okay, here at a Hotel Hilton in Toronto, about to eat before going to the hotel. So let's see what happens next. At the Hilton, this is my room for 3 nights. So just finished the uniform fitting. Now we get to chill. They're going to be serving us lunch again. We don't stop eating. And people are going on the water slide or the pool, or they're going to the bar to get margaritas. So I might just chill. I'm going to do a bit of work and then gym and then eat again. So adventure. It was pretty fun today. We got fed all day. We all just sat around and we played Uno and left, right, center. And then a couple of us wanted to go for a walk outside since we're stuck inside. We had to be accompanied by a wrangler that are at our beck and call 24/7, so whatever we need. And on our walk we ended up finding a pickleball court, and Jordan from LA and Z, they'd never played pickleball before, so I showed them how to play and it was super fun, and Jordan ended up beating me, but Rookie took me down. Now we're just waiting for the call to see what the plan is for tomorrow. They are just treating us like kings and queens, whatever we want. So it's kind of nice to be spoiled and be alone here in a hotel. And it's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's tonight. Good night.
I'll do you a solid and tell you all the information that I was going to tell you at 6 o'clock at dinner.
This is Dina. Say hi, Dina. I'm going to show my husband, Jay.
Is it on live? So Jay, how you doing? You got it, I'll take good care of her.
My last night, I thought I'd take a bath. 6 a.m. for breakfast and come ready with our electronics to hand in. And then it's go time. Don't know what to expect. Although there's 1,000 of us and they're going to dwindle it down to 500. So I'm manifesting that I'm going to make it through and keep on going. So hopefully I will be one of the 500 that moves into the city that they've created on this airfield. I'm going to be offline here for a month, hopefully, because I'm still in the game. So I thought I'd take my last bubble bath and then go down for dinner and get an early night's sleep. So I'm rested and ready to charge it. And so the next video hopefully will be a month and I will be smiling and we'll see what happens.
I am standing on $5 million of real money, the largest grand prize in entertainment history. And competing for this $5 million are these 1,000 contestants. Come on in. What you are witnessing is real. A record-breaking number of 1,000 players is currently stampeding this arena. But only one of these 1,000 people you are seeing will have what it takes to beat everyone around them and take home this generational wealth of $5 million. Whoa, that is crazy. Oh my God. This challenge is officially over. They should have got someone else. Are you guys ready for the next challenge? Notice attached to each of your towers are some colored boxes. Inside these boxes are blocks. Your goal is to stack all of your blocks on top of the red starting block within 10 minutes. I will only be eliminating the first 100 towers that fall over.
They're laser focused. Just put them.
If I were you, I would stand very, very still. Whoever remains after this next challenge will officially move into our city. The only problem is the city has 500 beds and there's over 600 of you. For this game, you will again be competing in a team. But this time, it's the row to your left and right, which means they will vary in number. This game is the final hurdle between you and moving on in this competition. I will
be offering bribes, and whichever person accepts it will eliminate themselves and their rows. All you have to do is take your hand, push that button, and you will instantly be brought briefcases full of money. This will be my final offer, $100,000 to anyone that self-eliminates until we have 500 players remaining. I still need 8 more to go. $100,000 on the line. People from all over the room were boasting about trust. If your tower is white, you are officially moving on to episode 2. And to the 493 of you still competing, say your goodbyes to your fallen comrades. It's time for you to move into your brand new home. And to the rest of you, say goodbye to $5 million. Welcome to the city I built for you. Welcome to Beast City. I've spent over $15 million literally building a city from scratch. And now it's the city you'll call home for the next month. I just want to say you should all be proud of yourselves for making it this far. We started with 1,000 contestants. You have made it to the top 500. And we're just getting started.
It is another beautiful day in Beast City, watching all the contestants wake up. No idea how this happened.
There was over $20 million in prizes given away. Every single player who competed was given $2,000 for playing. Beast Games broke a total of 50 world records.
831, you just won $10 million and are the first winner of Beast Games. Let's go!
Lucas suffers from a creatine transport deficiency, a rare brain disease that currently has no cure. Jeff's life has been and will continue to be devoted to finding a cure for this disease. And $10 million will certainly help him get a little closer.
Yo, Vicki, 520. You know, during that Red Box Challenge, very stressful, but we had a good time for those 5 hours. Something we'll never forget. Mikey and I are so proud of all three of us, especially you, for everything that happened that day. But just sang you a little song. Hope you like it. I'm going to give you the original lyrics that I wrote down. It's called No Sleep at Beast Games, RBC, Red Box Challenge. It's dedicated to Vicki 520. And you've got all the lyrics there. And then on the back, I shared this. And I was able to sing it at Beast City. I don't know if it'll be aired on the show or not, but you've got everybody signed it for you. To Vicki. Whew, I get emotional here. You played an awesome game. You got Chandler, Vicki, Carl wrote down, thanks for hanging and being part of this whole thing. Mr. Beast signed it for you. Tarek, Nolan, the whole gang signed that for you. All right, Vicki. Cheers. Hey guys, it's Dino380. I wrote this little ditty in the Red Box Challenge. Well, here's a little story I'm about to tell about my Beast Game friends that I knew so well. This all started weeks ago with Vicki, Mikey, and I'm Dino. Challenges got tough and emotions got high. It never feels good to lose a friend that's so fly. We hope you paddle out and catch an awesome wave. Thinking of us, just have a nice day. Peace, love, and harmony. Vicki.
I've been eliminated, but I did make the top 10%, so I should be proud, but I'm super bummed. What a crazy ride being here and competing in all these games. It was super emotional, actually. I cried a few times, which was nuts, and it's hard to explain because unless you've walked in our shoes, I don't think you'll get it. What we've been through the past week, just crazy. I don't even know how to explain it, but it'll be interesting to see how they edit, you know, whether you're the victim or the villain or the champ or, you know. But for me, a lot of it was luck, to be honest. A little bit of strategy here and there, but you got what you were given, and the luck of the draw was some of the games. Relationships were other parts of the games where the friends you made, they helped you, and also the friends you made, you had to kind of compete against, which is how I ended up losing the game. I lost to Dino, one of my BFFs in the game, and Michael. another close friend throughout the whole experience. That's who I competed with in the end, which sucked. I had the opportunity to walk away from the game and make some money, but I came into the game just seeing how far I could get. You know, I felt like I lived in a crazy adventure, and I'm so happy that I got to experience this. And woohoo! That's all. Bye. Thanks for following my journey.
Mom! Oh yeah!
She's right there.
Hold on.
So show it again.
Need 8 more to go.
Right there.
We found you!
So, wow, what an amazing experience it was for you. You know, we didn't see you for quite a while, and actually you were, let's call it dark. You had to turn over your phone, so we couldn't communicate with you through both sections of that process. That's the Vegas portion, which was relatively short, like 5 days, and the Canada portion where you were gone for about 10 days. About 3 days in, you had to turn your phone in, and this was in the height of our busy season. So probably a little bit stressful for you. You did touch on that in the video. There's a lot of questions, though. But anything you want to talk about as we get into this list of questions I have for you?
No, I mean, I gave all my feelings on the vlog that I did that you guys just watched. So, yeah, it was just pretty intense.
Yeah.
And what I said, what an experience, unforgettable. So
yeah.
So,
you know, if you watched the show, you know when Vicki, or how far Vicki got in the game. I made it pretty far. You made it starting with 2,000 people, and you got down to the last, how many?
200 and something.
Yeah, so from 2,000 to 200, so you were in the top 10%, which is pretty impressive. And you made a lot of lasting relationships on the show as well. But I have some questions from people who have asked us, whether it be friends, neighbors, people online, acquaintances. And it's going to go down the list. The first question is, those stacks of money that we saw in a lot of those clips, fake Hollywood money, right?
Some parts, but that stash of money that you saw in Vegas and Canada in the middle of the city and in the Allegiant Stadium, that was real. I mean, literally, you could walk past it and you'd smell money. It's like they were cooking it or something and they had guards there protecting it. But there was some times when the surrounding parts of the money were all fake, but the middle part was real. So, and then there was money that we walked over and we threw in the air, and when we'd exit some stage and scenes, it'd be fake. So yeah, there's definitely some real money there.
Well, I'm thinking there's 2,000 people and how many guards? You guys could have just overwhelmed them and everybody could have grabbed some.
Yeah, but they told us, you know, you'll be eliminated. Any kind of, foul play, you'd be out of the game. If they catch you. Yeah, that's right.
So, the Vegas portion, you showed in your video, you were at Allegiant Stadium. And so you went in there, you had no idea where you were going, first of all. They had you in a hotel, and then you got on buses the next day. And how did that all work, the logistics of that whole thing?
Yeah, they basically said, here's a black trash bag. We want you to wear this downstairs, bring your luggage, and you're going to load on some buses. You're going to hand in your phone and your baggage, and you're getting on a bus, and we're going to take you somewhere. So, there's all kinds of speculation with people going, oh, we're going to the Caesar's Palace. They're going to blow it up. We're going to be, and we ended up going to the Raiders Stadium, the Allegiant Stadium, and just entered there. And a lot of the games you don't know by watching the show, but they went on for hours. And when we arrived at the stadium, we got there maybe at 7 p.m. and we did the first game maybe at 1 a.m. finished at like 4 a.m.
So what do you do from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m.? What are you doing?
Well, they have to feed you, and then you have potty breaks, and then you got to line up, and with 2,000 competitors.
What's the food? What are they giving you?
Well, in Vegas, it was a lot different than Canada. We had breakfast, lunch, and dinner in Vegas, and it was all the same stuff. So for breakfast, we had 1 egg.
Like a hard-boiled egg?
Hard-boiled egg, some fruit, and some cold oatmeal. And then we each got water. There was no coffee. People were freaking out because they didn't have caffeine.
Oh, boy, yeah.
So, and then dinner would be a chicken breast, broccoli, and some quinoa. And then we'd have snacks, but it was kind of a repeat of those meals. So I thought it was part of the game.
What'd you have to drink? Just water?
Water, yeah. And towards the end, people were having some health issues. Some people even self-eliminated because they needed caffeine. But
it's like prison food.
It kind of was, and I thought it was part of the game. I thought it was maybe Survivor where they wanted to break you down. And, as far as I was concerned, that's what I eat. I eat chicken and oatmeal and broccoli, and so I was good. But I'm kind of a smaller built person. There was some big muscly dudes and bigger people that really needed more calories and electrolytes. So as people went on and were hungry and starving, they complained. So they ended up bringing us electrolytes and Gatorade and, power bars and stuff. So it got better towards the end, but yeah, we didn't get much.
So the staff that was basically wrangling all these 2,000 people had to sort of change things on the fly.
They did,
oh, these people need Gatorade. They're getting dehydrated or whatever. And so they didn't really have it figured out. And you thought all along this is part of it.
Yeah.
It's an endurance, mental. They're trying to cull the herd, so to speak, mentally by depriving people of the things they're used to. And you thought this is part of the game.
Yeah, and with 2,000 people, you got all sorts of personalities. So there's a bunch of complainers and whiners. So what I kept thinking is there's some big red doors right there. Go eliminate. This is part of the game. They're breaking you down. They're not feeding you. Just leave. Instead, they complained.
They asked you before you guys went to Allegiant Stadium, and again, you didn't know where you were going when you got on these buses from the hotel. Are you allergic to olives? Didn't they ask you that?
Yes, they did, and we speculated again.
Yeah, what did you think that meant?
That it was going to be a challenge where we had to eat olives or something. But as it turned out, if you guys don't know, the bottom of the field on the Raiders Stadium is crushed up olives. I guess it's a healthier version of pellets or rubber pellets that they use on some of the fields in other stadiums. So, because we had to sleep on it. They gave us all a sleeping bag, no pillow. They gave us all a sleeping bag, and we all slept on the field every night, whether we went to bed at 4 a.m. or sometimes we'd go to bed at, 2 a.m. It was all over the place. And then sometimes we'd have to separate where some teams would do different games, as you probably saw. While they were competing, we were up in like the area where they sell hot dogs and beer and everything.
The concourses.
Yeah, so we would be up there sleeping in our sleeping bags waiting for our turn to compete. So.
But they weren't selling hot dogs.
No.
Everything was closed down, except the bathrooms.
Yes.
Presumably. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we didn't shower or anything during this whole time. So as you can imagine, the bathrooms were a complete mess. They had like wet wipes. You could wipe yourself down and all the stuff that females needed. But you probably saw in my video where I mentioned they told us the only thing we could pack and bring with us were 5 pairs of underwear and bras. 3 days in, it was supposed to be a day in, they said, okay, come get a change of underwear, line up those with the last names A through C, come and get your change of underwear. So we're like, yes, fresh underwear, but it was with 2,000 people, it was a bit of a shit show that I think day 4 I got mine.
Wow.
So there was some stuff they were still figuring out for sure. They've never done a game show, well they haven't, with 2,000 competitors. So
well, yeah, especially one where you have to spend the night and use bathrooms and everybody's different. Some people have more needs than others or different needs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a lot of learning process I think on their part. So. Yes. You said the first night you got there at 7, this first challenge started at 1 a.m. So when you had first arrived at the stadium, was there stuff set up on the field, like a challenge, and you guys all looked at it and went, whoa, what's this?
Yeah, we did. They opened the curtains and we all walked down the stairs, and we can see like this big thing covered with black tarp, and we're like, what's behind that? And then you'll see Jimmy comes up and rips the tarp away, and we have to pull these 10,000 pound boulders. There's teams of 4 teams.
The teams. How did you determine what team you're going to be on?
I each had to run and grab a jersey really fast, and if your friend that you just met didn't get a jersey, then you try and swap, and it was scrambling. We were all scrambling.
Right. So it's sort of like a survival of the fittest, where you're like, okay, those people look strong, I'll jump on their team. That first night you started the challenge, pulling the ball up, and again, this is all on YouTube. Only the last team out of the 4 got eliminated.
Yeah.
And that was 400 people gone like that. Now you got 1,600 left.
Yep.
You finished the challenge at what time? Started at 1 a.m., finished at?
Probably 3.
3.
So we're exhausted.
Yeah, so on camera, the challenge takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But because of all the setups, the cameras, the lighting, you know, all that stuff, it took 2 hours to shoot
we started setting up at midnight, and we finished like 4. So it's like a 4-hour challenge by the time it's probably longer. I can't even remember. You know, it's a little...
Yeah, loopy. So they finish at 4, and then they go, okay, and everybody now find a spot on the field
to sleep. Yep.
And how do you choose where on the field you're going to sleep?
It was location. I wanted to go in a dark area that was quiet because you know, people are amped, and it's party time for some of these people. They're just like woo woo.
Yep.
So I just like, the next challenge, I got to get ready. I need sleep, and they gave us all eye masks and a toothbrush and a sleeping bag. So I went and crashed. I didn't mess around. I was there to compete, so I needed sleep, and I need my beauty sleep. So.
And they didn't tell you when you were going to get up the next day. Well, it was the next day.
I think it was like 11 a.m. All right, go get some food, go potty break. Next challenge is going to start. And I think the next challenge didn't start till probably 9 p.m.
Whoa.
Something. Yeah, so it's lengthy in between these games.
A lot of sitting around, waiting.
Yes.
And in that time, that's when you start to develop the relationships.
Yes, get to know people.
Just based on who's around you at the time.
Yep.
Like if you had been on a different part of the field, you might have...
Well, I was on the pink team, so I got to know everyone on the pink team.
Oh, so you grouped by teams and hung out in the team groups. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Jimmy, of course, pitted us against each other in the next challenge, which was the briefcase challenge, I think you would have seen in the show. So now we're on our own. You have to race and get a briefcase before, you know, your other pink team that you just got to know with and you slept with and you ate with.
Every man for themselves.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so in my line, I looked at the grid and I'm like, okay, 3rd, 6, 8, you know, I went like that. And then I told the people next to me, I'm going for case number 3. And Wilbur, the guy next to me, he's fast and fit, and he's like, I'll go for 12. And so luckily for us, in my immediate, you know, left and right, we had all each picked a case. But we had others from this side and this side that maybe were going this way to meet with our cases. Sure. So I remember when Jimmy rang the horn and I just took off, and I actually tripped and my knee was bleeding. But I finally reached up and touched the case before someone else. And so, I mean, you can hear, like, I'm getting emotional because I remember the feeling of like, oh my gosh, this is intense, you know? Sure. And I knew I got a case. And then funny, Laserbeam, I don't know if some of you guys know Laserbeam. Kieran, my son, does, because he's a big Fortnite player. But Laserbeam came up to me afterwards to check on my knee, and he's from Australia, and I'm like, mate, I think I got it. And he's like, how comfortable are you? And I'm like, I don't know, touch it, give me some good vibes. And, you know, we chatted about Australian stuff, so that was fun. But then, woohoo, I made it through that challenge.
So that one was purely physical, like it literally.
Well,
people that
you had to look at the grid and memory.
Sure, but then there's a race. It's a foot race to get to the case.
Yeah.
You obviously advanced through that one. So you're still alive, and they knocked out a couple hundred,
I think
know,
another
100?
I think another 400.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're on to the next challenge, but that was yet another day later.
Oh, it
Is
was.
that right?
Yeah, we went to bed, had our, boiled egg and oatmeal.
Yeah.
Everyone's complaining still.
And now at this point, you've been there a couple days. You have no idea how much longer you're going to be there.
No idea.
You could be there 2 weeks.
Yep.
You could be there one more day.
Yeah, and I think, of course, because there's 2,000 people and they kind of were still figuring things out, things took a lot longer than they expected.
It can't be cheap to rent Allegiant Stadium.
Oh, no, yeah.
Okay, so the next challenge was the flag challenge.
Yeah, so the flag challenge, there was 1,100 of us left by then. It was capture the flag. So he would bring out, a 10 at a time. And of course, the big macho studly guys were like, hey, I'm going for the first 10. And they did. People kept getting eliminated. Then they'd bring out 50 flags. And, it's intense along the line here because everyone wants that flag, And so I thought, well, I'm going to wait to the middle of the pack. So I was 520 was my number, and that had to do with what flag I got in this challenge. So you're on the line, and they're going, okay, I'm going for like 490. I'm going for 500. And some people let some of the older women get one. Like there's this old lady, Beth. She was awesome. And they're like, everyone, let's give that one to Beth. So but there was also fighting. Like, I'm going for 490. No, I'm getting 490. All right. And, clashing with each other. And I was strategic.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm going to tell them I need to poop. So I'm like, I'm going for 520, you guys. I really got to poo. And they're all looking at me like, ha, she needs to poo. Let her get 520. So luckily I run and I get 520. So that was a good excuse.
Yeah.
How nerve-wracking that was you take off and it's almost like you're in slow-mo. Like, people coming from all sides. You don't know if you're going to get that flag. And I literally, when I got the flag, I'm like, oh my God. It's intense.
Wow. Some people, they didn't get the flag or they just barely missed or they ate it.
Oh my gosh.
Like bad.
Yeah.
Injuries. There were some injuries, right?
Yeah. And there was people like on the line where they were like, if that guy gets a flag and I move forward with him, he's going to be out next game.
Yeah.
Like, people pissed off at each other and it's intense.
Yeah, it's really a Lord of the Flies kind of thing where you go in and there's no leadership or no laws, so to speak. What you expect in a game like that, it's like Survivor or any other group reality or game show. Certain people are going to step up and try to impose their will on the group to their benefit, I guess, and other people are going to slide back and try to go under the radar, as it were, and not stick out so that they don't get voted out or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. And that's kind of what happened the next challenge. I made it through that, and now we're down to 1,000. So the next challenge is these platforms, and there's 10 platforms, and we had to have 100 people on each platform. And this is where the leaders stepped up.
Right.
And right now, the pink team's still kind of moving around with each other. So Dino, who's pretty
prominent in
the show, he was always my friend and my team leader, even in Vegas, and he stepped up on the platform challenge and kind of pick and chose who we knew were in the game for the money, for the end.
How did you gravitate to Dino? What made you guys sort of work together? Was it just you had a conversation one day while you're waiting for them to set up the next challenge, and he was pleasant, and you were pleasant, and you guys just said, well, yeah, okay, I can have Vicki in my corner, I can have Dino in my corner, and let's work together.
Exactly.
Sort of a similar personality or mindset.
Yeah, we were just sitting there, and I'm like, has anyone ever told you look like, who does he look like?
I forget who you said he looked like, but it'll come to you. But in any case...
do you have kids? I'm like, yeah, do you have kids? Oh, yeah, my kids surf. Oh, yeah, my kids surf. Oh, I'm a firefighter. Well, my best friend's a firefighter. So, yeah, it's just getting to know each other and figuring out who's weird and who's cool and who's psycho.
Well, it's just like high school. You gravitate towards people who are similar to you, have similar interests, similar personalities, and this is just a bigger version of that.
Yeah. There was also like an odd mix of people that just, I got friends with people that I probably would never be friends with in the outside world, you know? So that was kind of cool too. We also had to get to know each other to see how we were playing the game. Like, are you in it to take a bribe? Are you in it to go all the way? You know, how do you feel?
Yeah.
So that's what came into play in that.
In this last challenge.
Or we all like would team up and go, oh, I think, you know, he's not going to take a bribe. He's not going to take a bribe. But let's get this. So we got 100 people together that we thought were wanting to go all the way to the end and not sacrifice themselves.
We're not still pink team?
Majority of us were pink team for sure.
Oh, so you didn't have
you
to
didn't have to.
Your color pink team had to be on the platform.
Now it's just any 100 people, yeah. So we felt pretty solid. There were some people scrambling at the end wanting to get on teams, and we're like, nah, not him, nah, not her, you know. We didn't feel confident.
And you didn't know what the challenge was?
We didn't know.
You just know you had to be on a platform.
And we knew Jimmy was going to bribe us. That's what we thought. You know?
Okay.
So yeah, as it turned out, of course, each 100 people got on the platforms, and he bribed people to jump off. And if you jumped off, then your whole team was out. So I made it through that challenge. That was exciting.
Well, there was the lady that jumped off the platform.
Gosh. Yeah.
And she did it before he had started the timer.
So
was it $1 million?
I think this was the 50,000.
Okay, so she's thinking, oh, I got 50 grand. I'm jumping off right now because the first person to jump off got the 50 grand.
But the timer hadn't started, so
he said,
"Oh my gosh,
the timer hasn't started. You're out."
Yeah, and as you can imagine, the people on her platform were pissed.
Yeah, because everyone else is eliminated from the game because she jumped.
Yes, and they're literally like, I'm going to kill you, you know, how could you do this to me, you know. They came to win the $5 million, and now they're eliminated because of this chick, you know. So they're just like angry elfing her, like, wow. And that was cool. That was the end, and 1,000 of us left, and that's how we made it to Canada.
Yeah.
Yep. Get your sleeping bag.
So you were all like, "Whoa, we're out of here."
Yeah.
Well, you didn't. I mean, like I said earlier, you didn't know if you're going to be there for 2 weeks or 4 days. Turned out to be 4 or 5 days.
Busing you back to the hotel. You can spend the night, or you can go home, or you can catch a flight, or you can drive home. So they said you're moving on to the official Beast Games on Prime, and that's all they told us. They didn't tell us where or when. They just said be available in September, I think.
Until
September 30th.
The end of September.
Yeah.
And this was in
August.
Beginning of July
yeah,
that you did
right.
this.
Yeah.
So
I go home.
Yeah.
I made it through, and I signed a massive NDA, of course. I'm not allowed to tell anyone that I'm on the show or anything, so I have to zip it. I'm coming back excited. Of course, I told a few select people and said to keep it under wraps, but I just had to hang out and wait till I heard from them. And
most of the people that were there, they had to basically put their lives on hold.
Oh, yeah. People quit their jobs.
Yeah. In some cases, people did quit. As you said, they walked out because they needed their caffeine or whatever, so they probably got nothing.
No, everyone that was there got $1,000.
Oh, they got 1,000. Okay. Yep. So that's, 2,000 times 1,000.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of money already paid out, plus all the food and the staff they had.
Oh, yeah. And they gave away hundreds of $1,000s in Vegas at all the challenges. There was money, there was bribes, there was, this and that. So
none of this is new to anyone who watches Beast Games. He gives away vast sums of money all the time.
But again, I wasn't in it for the $1,000.
Right.
I mean, you can't pay for an experience like this.
Yes.
So $1,000, sweet. They wired it to my account, woohoo! But I would pay to do that again. Probably $1,000.
Yeah, so
super fun.
Well, that's one of the questions. Would you do it again? Would you do the show again?
I would if I had the time. Fortunately, I did.
You didn't have the time.
Well, I didn't, but I made it. Yeah, you'd have to. Life's about experiences for me, and what an experience that was. So I'd absolutely do it again.
You were home for, I want to say, a couple weeks, because I went to the Maldives and I came back and you were still here.
I think it was August 12th I left.
Yeah, August 12th. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they basically sent you a ticket and said you're going to Toronto. You could be there until the end of September.
Yep.
And this is August 12th.
Yeah.
So as I'm saying goodbye to you and the kids are saying goodbye to you, we're thinking, well, we might not see her for a month and a half.
Yeah,
we have no
crazy.
idea. And, we knew that they would take your phone away, so we wouldn't even be able to communicate with you for that length of time. And as you mentioned, we're in our busy season at work, and I'm freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen.
I had to write down how to do payroll and how to do certain
there's a
things.
lot of stuff that I don't know how to do.
Flying to
New
Buffalo,
York.
and then there's wranglers there holding up. They called it Project Greenlight, and in Vegas it was Project Greenlight too, I think, actually, or Red Light in Canada. And they held it up, and you had to look for that. And whoever was arriving around my time, we all loaded on a bus and went to the Toronto Hilton. So that's where we were put for probably 3 days at the Hilton in between doing the next challenges. And still didn't know.
All right, folks, so you're probably wondering why the quick edit, and I'm wearing different clothes now, suddenly. This was not a wardrobe change. We had a technical situation where a lot of the second half of the interview did not get recorded.
My storage ran out on my phone, and we didn't know it, so we just wasted, almost an hour of talking. So now we're redoing it. So hopefully we remember what we...
No, it's take two. But where we left off was you had just arrived in Toronto. They were checking you guys into the hotel in Toronto. And you guys had really no idea what was in store for you at that point. You thought, what? Did you think, is this going to be a survival thing? They're going to send us into the Canadian wilderness? Or are we going to a studio? Did you have no clue? Was there conjecture amongst the contestants?
Yeah, we speculated the entire game, and they said, okay, here's your room, and we'll give you further instructions later. So, no idea. No. Okay,
so now you were, I would assume, sequestered in the hotel. You weren't allowed to go out on the town and go to a restaurant and stuff, right?
No, we could ask a wrangler, can I just go for a walk, get some fresh air? And they'd have to come with you. So, nope, we had our rooms, and then they said, okay, day one, be downstairs. We're going to do the first challenge, going to get on the bus, and off we went.
So we talked earlier about the food in Vegas, how it was really like prison food.
Yes.
And quite the opposite scenario here in Toronto, as you told us, right?
Yes, night and day, killer buffet for every meal. And they made sure they fed us every 6 hours, where in Vegas it was extended, and so I think they got a bit of flack, so they really took care of us.
Yeah, talk about the flack from Vegas. There's been some hubbub online. Some people actually were trying to sue the producers of Beast Games, the Vegas portion, which is basically kind of the audition to get on the Amazon Prime version, right?
You can Google it. I don't know what the latest is, but there was a lot of complainers about the way they were treated and how they didn't get adequate electrolytes and food. So there was one person, I think, that had a seizure. I'm not sure if it's because of that, but about how they treated us and how Mr. Beast is only in it for money, and they treated us like, cows or whatever. But as I said, you can leave whenever you wanted.
Yeah.
You weren't sequestered and, tied down. It's a game.
Right.
And I thought it was like Survivor. They put you through these challenges to see if you were strong enough.
One of the things in the application process was, are you willing to be buried alive?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So people knew that going in, that there could be some extremely uncomfortable situations that you would be put in. So to have basic food, to me, is like, hey, this is part of the deal. We should know this.
I thought that was the plan.
Well, sure. I would have too. I would have been like, well, this is all part of it.
Yeah.
They're giving us basic food and feeding us at weird times of day and keeping us up at late at night to weed out the weak.
Yep, there's some big red doors.
Yeah.
Walk out if you can't handle it.
So, but in any case, they had a much different experience set up for you in Toronto. The Wranglers, the very good food that they had for you. And so you had your own hotel room. Did you guys hang out in the hotel, like with other contestants? What did you do?
For sure. There was so much downtime. All we had to do was hang out and talk to each other and get to know, everyone's lives and families. And so I think that's how we built such good, strong relationships, because we had nothing else to do. So we would play pickleball. We would go to the gym. We weren't allowed to drink. So we couldn't go to the bar and, get wasted or anything like that. So there was a couple of people that would go down to the kiosk and get, a bottle of wine and take it to their room.
Oh, okay. Sneaking. Yeah, they can't monitor. I mean, you had how many people still in the game at this point?
Yeah, 1,000 people.
1,000 people.
Yeah, they were babysitting us, basically,
But of course, everyone's got their eye on the prize. The next morning, you woke up.
Yeah, so we got on a bus, and I think it was maybe half hour, 45-minute drive, and we're all looking out the window, where are we going, what are we doing? And we rock up to this place that had all these different hangars, and so we got out of the buses, lining up again, potty breaks, food breaks. It's very lengthy. You don't see that in each of the games. One game can last a day and a half, sometimes 2 days. So we walk in, and the first challenge is the floor drop challenge, and you walk into these games, and the size,
the scope of the whole thing is
it's massive.
off
Obviously,
the
an
charts.
airplane hangar is huge. So here's these 1,000, platforms that we each have to stand on. And of course, the speculation is, what are we doing? What are we doing? So you just have to wait for Jimmy to climb up on that $5 million pile, and we just wait and hear what the next challenge is. So
the first challenge happens. A lot of excitement, and they drop you through trap doors. What happens to you when you fall through? What do you fall onto? How far do you fall?
Yeah, if you got eliminated, the safety team would come in, and they'd make sure that you know how to drop.
So they chat to you first.
They did. They said, okay, you got eliminated. This is what you have to do. Keep your arms to the side. You're going to land. It's probably 10 feet deep, and it's a big pile of foam.
So it's a foam pit.
Yeah, so,
got it.
I never got to do it. Yay, boo. It looked like it would be fun. And then every challenge would be a different type of drop. He wanted to do like one where it was domino effect, and it was so exciting to watch him. But some people freaked out and didn't want to do it, so they had to pull them away.
Really?
Yeah, they were too scared to do the floor drop.
Wow.
So, yeah, but everyone else did it. And
interesting.
yeah,
okay.
And there's AI. If you watch the show, it looks like they're huge drops. That's all AI. There wasn't you could literally stand up, and I don't know, the floor was 6 feet, and then it dropped another 6 feet below the floor, kind of thing.
Pit. Yeah.
So
God, that must. I mean, just the construction process to build all those platforms and get them in there.
Yeah.
Must have taken so long and a lot of money. Obviously, it was a high budget show.
Yeah.
Which is no surprise with Mr. Beast. If you've ever watched any of his content, it's all, kind of on that level. So you survived that, and that took
2 days probably, because
2 days.
Yeah, because there was the bribe at the beginning. Anyone wants to leave for $1 million.
Okay.
And there's so much behind the scenes that we didn't get to see, because they've got an hour to edit the show. Like the girl next to me, she got engaged. Her husband was the first one to press the buzzer to go out for $1 million, and everyone's like, why would he do that? But he actually had to go back to work on Monday, so he was like, I'm going to just book out as soon as I can. And he's like, I saw $1 million, so I pressed it. And then he went and got a ring from someone, and he engaged to Tiffany next to me, and I was like right there in front.
Yeah.
It was cool, and they never even showed it. Yeah, and there's 1,000 of us. There's so many other little things that went on, because over that 2 days, like Wilbur beside me and Tiffany beside me, we downtime again. We'd get to know the people that are around us on the floor drops,
Yeah.
And then the next day we'd do the puzzle one, where you had to, stack the puzzle, and there was 10 minutes to do that, and then afterwards they had to go check, to make sure people weren't cheating, and so more
because
downtime.
we saw on the actual show, they showed all the cameras that they had on that particular challenge, because people would cheat.
And they actually had another game planned for after that, thinking that maybe there wasn't enough eliminated, where they had a ball, and we were going to throw the ball and knock people's towers down. So we didn't end up having to do that. So I'm like, I just want to get to the city. I want to get to the city. So, and that's what most people were doing. They weren't taking bribes, because we wanted to experience Mr. Beast's city that he built for.
Did you know what it was? what the city
we didn't.
meant.
He just kept telling us, "I've built a city, and you can go live in it for a month."
So yeah, you kept going back to the Toronto hotel
Yeah.
at night to sleep for 3 nights, I believe. So you did a couple of challenges in there, and then you made it through to the city. How many contestants were left at this point?
500. And by the way, anyone that got eliminated in any of the challenges, they literally left, went and got their bags, and you never saw them again.
Yeah.
You couldn't say, bye, it was so fun
Right.
hanging out with you in Vegas and, here in Toronto, and then you'd never see them again.
Yeah.
So fortunately, a lot of us are, in contact on Instagram. We get on a bus, and it's at night. We're getting there and open the gates, and here we are. We get to explore the city, and wow, it's
And the
just,
city was where?
mind-blowing.
In the middle of an airfield?
It was
Probably
on a runway.
in the same airfield where the hangar was,
Yeah.
where you did the initial challenges.
So here's the city, and by the way, on the show it shows there's a moat around the island. There was no moat. That's AI. So we get there, and there's 10 cabins, and it's like girl cabin, boy cabin, girl cabin. They're like, go get a bed. And in each cabin there's maybe 50 beds or something.
Were people running?
Yeah.
Because they wanted to pick the best bed.
And they wanted to be with their friends, So then I became friends with the people around my bunk bed, you know, and so building relationships yet again. We ended up going out at like 11 p.m. that night after we all had dinner, and we said, okay, come to the towers. We're doing our first challenge.
Yeah.
So we spent the whole night doing that first challenge.
Till like 4 in the morning?
Yeah.
Well, how did you know what time it was even? Did you have a watch?
Nope,
Were you allowed to have watches?
Nope, we'd ask the wranglers. And by the way, it's
hard.
freezing. So they gave us all sleeping bags to kind of hang out in while we watched each challenge. And sometimes we get to go back to our dorm. It filmed all night, and I was on the pink team, the big solo cup, the red solo cup. I was one of the last players on my team, and Mr. Beast says, Vicki, if you get this in, you're going to win it for your team.
Yeah.
So I was like, holy moly, and I made a speech, and pink team's, hooting
Cheering for you.
And then I went to shoot, and I missed. So I'm like, I'm going to look like an idiot on TV, but they didn't even show that scene, so.
Well, do you even get a practice throw? No. So it's just like, how do you know how hard to throw it? There's wind at the ball, the weight of the ball. Yeah. So, it's, it's just a luck of the draw there. So you did that challenge, and then you guys were eating together, living together. Like Squid Game, is there a voice that comes over a PA and say, lights out in 5 minutes?
Yeah, the plan was, okay, lights out at midnight or whatever time. We didn't get to bed probably till 4 a.m. that day, so we'd sleep till 11. And then I'm like, I'm getting up and I'm going to do a workout. They had like a gym section, so a few of us would go, the gym. Some people would go play ping pong. There'd be basketball. So we'd get to hang out a fair bit and just play games. And we lived in this city. There was a Feastables cafe. We could get whatever we want, unlimited Feastable chocolates and
which is good,
drinks. And they had coffee, so people were super stoked. We had coffee in these games.
I wonder if they factored in the psychological aspect of these people are going to form bonds because they're together so much and they're in tight quarters.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, to be honest, I feel like I'm pretty social and friendly, but there was times when I had a hard time, trying to meet people and talk. They all wanted to talk about themselves. And, and I would obviously encourage that because people like you and you talk about them. And there was so many people vying for attention that, it was a little overwhelming to kind of get to meet everyone. And
because there are a lot of extroverts in game shows.
For sure.
All the shows I've done, there's tons of extroverts. They just want me, look at me, and they want to be on camera.
And a lot of them had their YouTube channels or their TikToks, and they're thinking they're going to get famous on, this game show. So. Yeah, so it was an interesting mix of people. But there was one night where he just said, tonight you can have the night off. And they brought out a big speaker, and we just had a massive dance party all around the $5 million. It was so fun. We partied and danced probably till 1 a.m. It was
but
cool.
No alcohol?
No alcohol.
Okay.
Yep.
I would have loved to have seen that. I think that would have been a cool addition to the show.
It would have been cool. And then, Mr. Beast and all them would hang out with us, and his wife, and Chandler and Mac and Carl. Carl was awesome. He was super funny.
Okay, so let's talk about one specific moment. You were on Dino's team, pink team, and Dino was the captain. He was up on the tower. Hey, captain, you can accept whatever money level this thing gets up to by hitting the button, and you'll stay in the game, and you'll get that amount of money, but all of your team will be eliminated from the game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, talk about that.
Yeah, we trusted Dino. I've been with him since Vegas, and he's a fire chief from Beverly Hills, so he's always led his fire team. And, you know, he's looking down at me and Mikey and all the other people that he's befriended, and we're like family. So he's like, I can't screw them, you know, they're my friends, and I want to stay in the game. So he's had to think, you know, if I take the money, if I move on, people aren't going to trust me. So he had no qualms of not pressing that button. We're family.
Yeah, so that's where those established relationships came into play, because you have a 1 in 400 chance of winning $5 million, but he had a guarantee of $1 million.
Yeah.
All he had to do was screw over his entire team, but he'd probably never see any of them again, and he'd walk with $1 million. So if you're being, again, pragmatic about it, you just go, $1 million, man, bam, sorry.
Yeah.
And I suppose somebody's life situation would factor into that, right?
Yes.
If somebody's in a really difficult financial situation, and we saw that throughout the rest of the game as it played out, they made those decisions for personal reasons.
Yeah, you know, people quit their job to play in these games, and some people were janitors, and maybe they made $15 an hour. So, and maybe he lives out of his car, or he rents and, you know, shares a room. So if there was someone up there in that situation, it might have been different.
Yeah.
But Dino was like, you know, I got family and a house, and I don't need that $1 million. I'm getting that $5 million. So, so we had to pick someone that we knew wouldn't take a bribe.
Okay.
And I knew Dino wouldn't take a bribe, and it's crazy that he didn't
So
take it.
let's fast forward to the game where you got eliminated. Okay. Talk about
the red box challenge.
Yeah, talk about the red box challenge.
So if you saw my video, you see Mr. Beast tricked us and put us together with all our friends. So Dino, Mikey, and I. And one of us had to go. And they didn't show how I got eliminated. Actually, I kept this from that challenge. Here's the brown
This will be for sale on eBay in 2 or 3 days.
Here's the brown paper bag they gave us for lunch, sitting in the red box challenge. But I'll show you this in a minute. But we thought, let's make it fun. We could ask for anything we want. We could use the telephone. So Dino said, let's play chicken shit bingo. If you don't know what that is, you get a chicken and you put a grid on the floor, and whichever grid the chicken shits on, they get a point. So we thought that would be entertaining.
Really?
And then I'm like, well, let's do a farm theme. We'll get some cowboy hats, and then we'll get a goat. I've done goat yoga before, and if you haven't done that, you should try that. But a goat will jump on your back, and it feels really good. But so we thought, let's get a goat, and whoever's back the goat jumps on, they'll get a point. And then I have a bunny rabbit at home, so I'm like, let's get a rabbit, and we'll draw some circles on the floor, and whichever hole the rabbit jumps on. So we had this big grand plan, and we call on the phone, and we're waiting. And, you know, you got 5 hours to pick someone to eliminate. So we just thought, let's play some games, and whoever, you know, gets the lowest score.
I have to stop you because I have questions, and I think most people watching would. So they tell you, we'll get you anything you want. Obviously, you're not going to say, I want $1 million.
No, you couldn't ask for money. That's the question people have been asking me.
Yeah, of course, ridiculous.
Whatever you ask for, you can't take away from the red box.
Okay. So there's hundreds of competitors still in the game, and there's a small team of people that are basically supposed to try to get anything people ask for within a very short amount of time.
Yeah, 5 hours.
It's not like you have days to be in this box.
Right.
So people are ordering pizzas and burgers and
masseuse.
fries. That
Someone
stuff's
got a
probably
tattoo
easy.
and a haircut,
Masseuse. I mean, so guys have to get on the phone and call local masseuse. Hey, man, we're filming this show. Can you get over here? We'll pay you, blah, blah, blah. Wow, what a stressful thing for the people who had to deal with all that.
Yeah, I don't think they had the staff to deal with it.
Yeah, they didn't anticipate
to get
probably
a chicken and go.
some of the bizarre requests.
They got a horse. Someone got a horse.
God, unbelievable.
I know.
So
let's make it fun, and we thought the easiest and fairest way to do it was just play a game, and whoever has the least amount of points would have to leave. So,
yeah.
You know, because we're such friends,
Yep.
we just wanted to keep it fair. So anyway, Carl would come in and he would be like, I'm getting you a chicken, Vicki. I'm like, come on, Carl, get. So anyway, 4 hours went by, and Jimmy gets on the speaker and says, okay, there's an hour to go. I'm not going to tell you the time from here on out. So if any of you guys don't have someone eliminate, then all 3 of you are gone. So we were like, well, we're not going to get the goat and the chicken and bunny at this stage. So let's ask for a deck of cards and some dice, and we'll just play some games. So we actually made a list of things that we could play with our card game. Highest card wins, names in a hat, dice, the highest dice wins, dice closest to the wall. So we made this basket out of our lunch bag, and we did a scoreboard. So we asked for paper and pen, and we put numbers in here. So we'd each reach in, and whoever pulled out the lowest number got a point on the board, or the highest number got a point on the board. So as you can see here, Mikey got ahead of 4, and it was 2-2 for Dino and I. So our last game was the highest dice wins, and sure enough, Dino throws a 6 and I throw a 1. I'm devastated. And
yeah, how did you feel at that exact moment when you saw you had the lowest roll of the dice?
It's all over. My journey's come to an end.
Was it like your entire journey on Beast Games flashing around in your head?
Yep. I'm just like inside, damn it, you know. And because it was, you know, there's probably 40 minutes to go, I said to Mikey and Dino, let's just wait for the chicken. Let's just see if the chicken comes. And they said, okay, if the chicken comes, we'll play. But we can't let the time run out. So I'm like, Carl, come on, Carl, get me the chicken. And part of me is like, you know, I lost. I should just handcuff myself.
Yes.
It's the right thing to do. But deep down, I'm like, you know what? No. Wait for that chicken, Vicki. You never know. The chicken's going to show up. And the time kept going down, and they're nervous because they're like...
Because you don't know how much time's left. You just knew.
I didn't want to screw them over and have them eliminated too. So that's when I'm like, okay, guys, I'm out.
So you're still emotional 6 months later about this.
Yeah, you know, I've been through so much in these games with these people and putting my heart and soul into it. And
they put everybody through a difficult situation, and then they bond.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happens, I think, or what happened
at Beast
Games.
Because, you know, Chandler came in with his cameraman, and he's going, what happened? Video me. And Mikey and Dino and I are crying. And, you know, here's this fireman and this tough, you know, punk rock tattoo guy. And we're just hugging and crying. And it was so emotional because they felt for me.
Yes.
And so they left, and I stayed.
Yeah, so they just walked out, and then you never saw them again.
Nope.
And then you walked out, and people took you to a certain area.
Yeah, they said, you get in your bag and your
done.
phone, and you're going to get on a plane and fly home. You literally walked out, and you saw other people that were eliminated, and you're like, no, you got eliminated too. And, you know, you didn't see people, and you're like, oh, they must have made it. And so, this guy's sitting there with their laptops. Okay, time to fly home. Where do you want to go? Where's your airport?
So they were booking one-way tickets.
One-way tickets. And I actually thought some people booked to go to Hawaii or Key West because they're like, you know, I've planned on being gone till September 30th. I'm going on vacation. So I thought of booking to Hawaii to go see Sage, but I'm like, I better get home. So I said, Santa Ana. And next day, so I had to go back to the Hilton. They gave me my phone. It was dead, but I'm like...
And you had how many messages on your phone?
Oh, yeah.
You had been in Canada for about 10 days.
Yeah, so...
And dark
when
for
I started
a week.
My phone. Yeah.
You were a good week
Yeah.
dark. And by the way, they were giving us, you know, updates every couple of days, texting us.
Oh, yeah, you and
to
Sage,
let us
right?
know. Yeah, like, your loved one is still in the game. There's now only 400 contestants, 300, whatever. Mm-hmm. We didn't know if we were going to see you in a few days or a month. Mm-hmm. So it was a little stressful for me, you know, a little bit. But
oh, yeah, for me.
Yes. You're like, man, I got to go back to reality and back to work.
So I did. I got home and I signed this massive NDA, so I couldn't say anything. I couldn't tell people,
Yeah, the results.
Some close friends I told, but I had to zip it until they told me I could announce that I was on the show, which was December 16th.
But you kept in touch with Dino in particular.
Yeah, I kept texting, are you home yet? Are you home yet? And figured, oh my gosh, he's still in
And if he's not answering, you know he's still in the game.
Yep. And then one day, he's like, I'm out. I'm like, no. So he got back and called and heard the whole scoop, so.
And he was really excited about all this. In fact, he made these hats.
Oh, he did. Thanks, Dino. I know.
And he went to all the, like, there was a premiere and there was meetups for people that were in the show.
Oh, yeah, and there still is. And there's BFFs made.
Yeah, and they had a billboard in Hollywood, and he went to the billboard and took pictures with other people in the show. Like, he was full on into it.
Oh, yeah. So we were all on the billboard in Santa Monica. And he went there the day they were actually taking it down to put the next episode of people that had X's on who got eliminated. And he actually got one of the billboards.
Classic.
I know. Classic.
So he has all the heads.
Yeah.
What did he do with them?
I don't know what he's going to do with it.
Sell them on eBay.
I don't know. I told him he should give them to all the, like we could each cut out our own face. I don't know.
They did have a premiere. You did go to the premiere, right?
Yeah, we got to see the first 2 episodes before it went live on Amazon Prime. So meeting up with all the people we hadn't seen in a few months was super fun, and we didn't know the results either, and the people that won or got far, they couldn't tell us.
Yes.
So we had no idea, so it was crazy.
Yeah. So now that the show has played out, it's finished, you saw how the game went down, and now we have our winner. So how do you feel about Jeff as the winner?
He's the best person that could have won. I mean, he played an honest, solid game, and he was in it to have the money to help his son who has this rare health condition. So he's going to try and find a cure. So, I mean, who could take that away from him?
And he won $10 million, not $5 million, because that was a thing at the end. There was a coin toss.
Yes, by Gage, who actually lives in San Clemente. He had the balls to flip a coin, and
he didn't have to do the coin flip either, and he did it.
Yeah, and he walked away with $1 million too. So that was cool. So Jimmy gave away so much money throughout these whole games.
Yeah,
I mean, and he broke like 50 world records. So it was just an amazing production.
Yeah, as TV history goes, the largest by far prize ever given out on the TV game show. I mean, by leaps and bounds. My question to you is, would you do it again?
Yes.
Yeah, you would.
I hesitated a bit, but for sure. I mean,
why did you hesitate?
Just because it's challenging.
Yes.
Emotionally, physically, but it was an experience that you can't pay for.
Yeah.
I think people would pay to be on this.
Yeah.
So I feel lucky that I got to do it, and I would go back again, and I've learned from what I've done, and hopefully the jackpot will be up and I'll win the next game. And Kieran said he wants to do it. You have to be 18 and over, so it'll be fun to do a mother-son or a husband-wife.
Right. If we both applied, I kept making it through, but then I sent them an email saying I was out because I didn't feel that we could both be gone during the busy season. And I don't know now after watching the show if I would want to be on that show. I don't really like the whole having to turn on your friends and stab them in the back. That's not my jam. And I am kind of more of a loner. I'd be that guy that would make no tight relationships.
Maybe you scoot through though.
Maybe you stay under the radar.
That's it.
You hear that on a lot of
different
reality
strategies.
shows.
Yeah.
The whole process from start to finish. The application was in like April or May. You were in Vegas in early July. You were in Canada in early to mid-August or middle part of August, and then the show didn't air till December. And then you did get $2,000 for participating, so you got something for your time, but obviously the experiences were what you'll carry away with you, right?
Sure, yep.
Yeah.
Not many people could say they did that, and
that's
pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
People from all over the world messaged you.
Yeah, that's what.
Since you've been on this show, some of them sending screenshots from their TVs, right? I mean, all over the place.
Yeah,
Talk about that.
I got a guy in Pakistan that works for me, Shukran, and him and his office, all watch the show. And then obviously my friends in Australia, some in Japan and France. I got messages from all over the world that people I hadn't seen or talked to in a long time. They'd send me screenshots. I saw you on Beast Games, Even walking around the neighborhood, some of the neighbors are like, oh, I saw you on Beast Games. So, that was kind of cool to have people, 240 countries it was aired in, so.
Yeah, broad reaching.
Yeah.
So that's something you'll take away for the rest of your life, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it, folks. Vicki's Mr. Beast experience, pretty awesome, and we'll see if it leads to something else, so stay tuned. Yeah?
Thanks for watching.
See ya.
Does Mr. Beast have an actual no-limit credit card? If he's rich, why does he wear all those just random clothes, not like expensive clothes and stuff? And why aren't you in the funny videos too? Does he give real money or fake? And why is his name Mr. Beast? Because he has a beast logo. Is he a nice person? Have you seen the video of him? And he was really angry. And yeah, that's it.
My name's Vicki Reale, and I'm originally from Australia.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
I live here in this beautiful town called St. Clemente, and I just turned 50. Don't be fooled by my age. Age to me is just a number. It's all up in here and how you feel. That's why I'm out here on a hike. Gotta feel good to live a good life. I'll kick some of you youngsters' ass. I grew up on a deer and ostrich farm in Australia, and I think it would be freaking awesome to compete on the biggest game show ever. This little farm girl. My son told me about this show. I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. I'm up for anything. I woke up at 4:30 today, couldn't sleep, here on a run, no makeup, thought I'd just apply. I'm supposed to tell you what I do with millions of dollars. I have 100,000 or so in the bank. Money won't change my life. I don't know if that excludes me. I actually run my business on Amazon. They provide food for my family to keep my business alive. My motto's always been live like you're gonna die tomorrow. I want to live it to the fullest. Money or no money. Gotta live your life and have fun. Everyone else is sleeping. Get up, people, live your life.